My name is Jovanni, and what I got in front of me is this tiny violin. My sister got this for me for Christmas. It's for any time employees come in my office and they have excuses. You just play this. You play this, you give them the world's tiniest violin. Because excuses are only good for those that make them. This is a great Christmas gift that she got me. I have it on my desk at all times, even including for myself, when I feel sorry for myself. Is the mic good? Yeah. Hey, welcome back to The Manager and the Man. Again, for some of you tuning in for the first time, this is just a short series where I explore challenges and insights within small startups or small organizations, and how my professional experiences can shape my personal experiences and vice versa. Well, this is a special episode because LivWell Clinic is officially celebrating 4 years this week. 4 years of growth, 4 years of learning, 4 years of impact, and I'm just thankful. First, I'm thankful to the state of Arizona for giving us a license to operate. I'm grateful for access that allows us to pay us through insurances as well. I'm grateful for the families that trust us with their children. I'm just grateful for every year, every month, every day, every minute that we're open. This is just a great opportunity. And it's just a great, we've been a part of this great, incredible journey to see this organization continue to thrive. So 6 years ago, in 2019, we launched a 501c3 called the East Valley Dream Center, a nonprofit. And we launched it with the mission to give back, just to pour into the community. Then in March 2021, my brother came up with this idea to start a behavioral health clinic. I had no idea what that could involve, but I just simply asked, well, what do you need from me? So you fast forward from March 2021 to July 2021, and there we were. There was just 6 to 8 of us gathered in a room at the Dream Center for our very first day. And for me, personally, that moment, that day, marked the beginning of something truly meaningful. So these past 4 years, they've been incredible. But I can also say they've been filled with lesson after lesson after lesson. A lot of mistakes. When we first started off, the words leadership, to me, the words leadership and entrepreneurship, they sounded so exciting, attractive. In the beginning, you feel unstoppable because you're quitting jobs, you're taking a leap of faith, like you feel untouchable, like nothing can touch you. But then reality starts to set in. That's when your ego gets checked, balloons start to pop, and the challenges come real fast. And suddenly you're just in these situations you never faced before. What I say is you're learning while you're flying on this plane, and you have to operate on it as well as is in the air. So I truly believe we've had success in 4 years, but I also believe those successes were built on a lot of failings, very hard lessons, and growth through adversity. So today in this episode, I kind of want to share with you the most important things I've learned over these past 4 years since we started LivWell. Some incredible lessons and mistakes that I want to share with you, so maybe you can avoid them as well. So the very first lesson I kind of learned professionally is employees are not mind readers, and neither are managers. I used to joke, I don't know if you've seen the movie X-Men. You have Charles Xavier, Professor X, the guy who can read minds and anticipate your every thought and move. And that's a great superpower to have. But the truth is, even our best employees, even the best employees and the most detailed bosses can't do that. There are no mind readers in the workplace. So if I can go back to our first years, even to last year or 2 years ago, and early on, I could have saved a lot of confusion on my end and frustration, maybe on other people's end as well. Clear communication is everything. And I said this last episode. Expectations, feedback, needs, none of it can be assumed, because everybody knows when you assume, what happens. So things just have to be said. No one, no one can read your mind, and you cannot read theirs. And I've learned this through meetings. I've learned this through one-on-ones. I've learned this through casual conversations in the office, even quick pass-throughs. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you and I, or we talk about something and we agree to something, and then later on, you do the exact opposite, only later to say is, I don't remember saying that. I cannot stand that. So that's when I realize how important written communication is. Emails are, messages are, documentation, anything in writing. It's not just about keeping track, but it's also about just accountability as well. You see, when things are documented, everyone involved has a clear reference point, and it just helps prevent misunderstandings before they happen. So the second lesson, let's go to the second one. So is try to hire and keep the right people. That is an important lesson that I've learned over the past 4 years. Now hear me out. You might think you're Miss Popularity or Mr. Perfect, but the truth is, not everyone is going to like you. And for me, that's okay. But it's something to recognize early, especially feeling it out through the interview process. I know it's kind of a honeymoon stage, but also within those first 90 days, that probation period. At LivWell, we have that set up as well. Because here's the thing, people who aren't aligned with you or your vision, this can slowly start to turn others against you. And I always say this, which is an old phrase, that one round apple can spoil the whole bunch. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you shouldn't hire people who disagree with you. I'm not saying that whatsoever. In fact, I say it all the time here for leadership, ones that work closely with me. I don't want robots at LivWell. We don't need Tesla robots at LivWell. People disagree with me in leadership that work close with me all the time. And for me, that's a healthy work environment. But what's even healthier is that they still align with the mission, the values, and the direction that we're headed in. So for me, the moment someone starts to actively dislike you or constantly question your every decision, especially in a startup or a small company within that environment, it just becomes a problem. And in those cases, you got to make a tough call, but a quick call, and let that person go. Especially in the early years, because you're just trying to establish a good culture, and you just simply can't have that negative energy in the room while making decisions or trying to move forward. So for me, people with bad attitudes, constant complainers, people who speak poorly about you or the work that you're doing, that just quietly erodes the foundation that you're trying to build. See, in the beginning, culture is fragile. It's super fragile, and it has to be protected at all costs. So your best move in those situations is just to be direct in a respectful conversation and just let them know, hey, this isn't working out. I thought this could work out, but obviously it's not. And you can acknowledge that maybe they have their own way of thinking, which is not wrong and working, and that's okay. But this is how we operate here. This is how we behave here. You see, culture is just not values on a wall or things that you see. It's just how we operate every day. So that's the second lesson that I've learned. The third lesson that I've learned, this is a big one, and this is a funny one, but working with friends and family is probably one of the hardest things you can do. And the reason I say it's funny is because I currently work with friends and family. But let me give you my perspective on it. This is not for everyone. When you're younger, you always think, And it's easy to dream with close friends and families or siblings and say things like, wouldn't it be so amazing if we started a business together? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just do this together? And at 36 years old, I can honestly say those are probably some of the dumbest words I have ever heard. And I'll tell you the reason why. In the beginning, it's tough because you might have a few people you barely know join you on this journey of this organization. But more than often, the first ones to jump on board with you are the people closest to you, of course, because they believe in you, they know who you are. And while it's comforting at first, it comes with its set of challenges. It's emotional dynamics, blurred boundaries, and expectations that really don't always align with the reality of running a business. And hear me out, I'm not saying it's impossible to work with friends or family. I'm not saying that. In fact, like I said, I currently work with both, so it's not impossible. Is it easy? No, it's definitely not easy whatsoever. So what I'm sharing is my own experience. And I'll say this, if you do choose to work with friends or family, here's kind of what I have done in some situations when hiring close friends or family. The most important thing to do is just be upfront from the very beginning. You gotta set clear expectations. You gotta define roles. You gotta talk about how this relationship is gonna work, professionally and personally. Because if you don't do that, that's where the lines blur quickly. And that can lead to just tension, to misunderstandings, or even worse, is a fallout in the friendship or even family as well. So during those first conversations with your friends or family who you want to work with, it's crucial to set that tone early. Gotta set it early. So let them know, hey, if I decide to bring you on, you have to understand this. Our friendship stays outside the door when we walk into work. And then explain exactly how that looks like. I always tell people, talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Put it in clear, plain sight, because everyone is different. Be clear to them. Be clear that they're gonna be held to the same standards as everyone else. That means how they talk, how they operate, how they behave. All of that matters. You gotta be as clear and direct as possible, because everything can just lead to assumptions, and assumptions can lead to problems. So setting those expectations up front just protects both the relationship and the business as well, along with the other employees, as they know that up front. So I know the third lesson was working with friends, and here's my honest advice in this. Try at all costs not to work with friends or family. Try to avoid it. But if you have to, then just do everything I said of those expectations up front from the start. I would say, man, get a whiteboard, send emails to them, write it down, heck, even get a tattoo to make sure what the expectations were up front. Do whatever it takes, so they understand how the working relationship is gonna function. I always say this, clarity is kindness. And when it comes to mixing personal relationships with business, clarity is also survival. So just be as clear up front with them. So one of the last professional things I've learned is just to celebrate the small wins. This is something I have not done well, and I'm learning this going into year 4. We've been open since July 2021, which I said, and I remember that day at the East Valley Dream Center, July 18th of 2021, like it was yesterday. Remember, there's 6 or 8 of us in that room. I think I had a beige shirt on at that time, and here we are in July 2025, and there's still so much more ahead. So I never want to come off as arrogant or complacent in that manner, but I've just come to realize how vital it is to pause and appreciate milestones along the way. Whether that's earning your first profit, whether that's hiring your first employee or receiving a positive review. And I've learned those moments really, really, really matter. And honestly, celebrating is something I don't do well. And I'm speaking personally as well. I don't celebrate well. So I told myself I want to focus on that going into this next fiscal year for us as a challenge for me, and both professionally and personally as well. So, but in year 4, I kind of want that to look totally different. So I want to celebrate what God has provided for me today, and kind of my mindset is tomorrow can worry about itself. So, all right, that's professional. Kind of spoke with you what I've learned these past 4 years. Now let's get a little personal and what I've learned in this thing called life. Well, as we celebrate LivWell 4 years, this week I turned 37 years old. It's my birthday this week, so it's kind of a celebration of both. And I still cannot believe I can officially say I'm in my late 30s. That is crazy to me. I still feel like in my 20s until my body reminds me otherwise, but I'm truly grateful for another year of life, of breath, of growth. So I kind of want to share with you what I've learned in these 37 years of living. And here's my first lesson. I've learned I cannot eat at 37 what I ate at 27. Back then, bro, I could go through a bag of hot Cheetos like it was part of the food group with no problem, no issue. But now I take some bites and my stomach is not having it. And don't even get me started on eating late at night. I used to eat at 10, 11 o'clock, burgers, pizza, and I used to sleep like a baby. But now if I eat past 9 o'clock, and man, I wake up feeling like there's acid in my stomach and all these sounds are coming out. So that's one lesson I've learned. The second lesson is stretching is no longer an option. I like to run. I like to stay active and fit. And I never used to stretch at all. But it wasn't until last year I started stretching. And let me tell you, this 37-year-old body, soon to be 37-year-old body, doesn't move like it's 25 anymore. I've learned the hard way that all these muscles are kind of connected, and if I don't stretch, I'm just one wrong move away from pulling something, and that's probably even tying my shoes, or even yawning. Something happens. So stretching to me is important. Another lesson I've learned is, as much as I said I never would act like my mom when I was younger, because she got a little temper, a little impatient, I definitely, turning 37, I picked up some of her traits. But I'm also thankful for that as well. You see, growing up, my siblings and I, we didn't really express love in words. We didn't say I love you or I'm proud of you. And honestly, I used to think that was weird. For a long time. I even questioned whether my mom truly loved us, but as I got older, I started to understand something deeper. My mom showed love in the way she only knew how to do that, and that was through action. See, my mom worked hard. She kept the house clean. She kept the house in order. She always made sure we had what we needed, and she bought us gifts. She made sacrifices and kept things running. So saying words wasn't something she grew up with, and that didn't really come naturally for her. And now, in my 30s, soon to be 37 years old this week, I see some of those traits in myself as well. I realize that love, doesn't always sound like the words I love you. And I know that's important, but love is not always those words. Sometimes it looks like showing up. Sometimes it looks like providing. Sometimes it looks like protecting and doing the little things that often go unnoticed. Because I saw that growing up, and I didn't realize I was seeing that growing up. So learning that now in my 30s and accepting love in all its forms, for me, it's really been one of the most healing and eye-opening lessons in my life. And my final lesson, which is personal, so if I get emotional, I don't mean to get emotional, but it's a scar that I have. It's a hole in my heart that's been there since birth. So my father, when I was born, I only seen him one time at 18. And while I think I've accomplished some amazing things despite the circumstances I was born into, that absence has just kind of always been a quiet and constant reminder. And I think no matter how far I go, or in my mind, what I achieve, there's always that missing piece there. And for me, I don't care who you are, how old you get, not having a father really just affects you. And it shows up in ways, obviously, in front of a camera that you don't always expect, and it stays with you. And for a long time, I thought I wasn't supposed to feel sad about it. I thought I should be healed by now. But I've learned this. I truly learned this going into my year 37. I've learned that accepting the sad days, the crying days, is part of healing. It doesn't mean I'm broken. It just means I'm human. And the hole in my heart, for me, I'm so grateful for, because it's what drives me. It's the part that allows me to connect with others, to share my story in the community with other people, with kids, and to say, yes, I have this scar, I have this hole, but look what's possible when you accept it and you can build on it. So thank you for being along with me in this emotional journey. But those are some things I learned personally. And I'm grateful for LivWell turning 4 years old. With the staff, I'm grateful for every staff member. If you're seeing this and you're a staff member, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for choosing this place to work at. You didn't have to work here. A lot of you, majority of you, took pay cuts to be here and stay here, along with my decisions, my brother's decisions, this leadership. So from the LivWell perspective and the staff, thank you so much. To the families, to the partners, thank you. And then my personal, for the people that are along my journey, I want to thank you as well. I know I'm not the easiest person, but I pray my life of 36, 37 years, my personal experiences, whether I helped you or served you along the way, and just letting you know that I love you in any type of way. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Manager of the Man. If you haven't subscribed to the East Valley Dream Center channel, please do, for more videos like this. So thank you so much.